All right, some technical difficulties. I'm gonna try and press through. Ran out of room on my phone. Where was I? So I had this idea of this woman named Esperanza Diamante who had magical chocolates, passionate chocolates. I couldn't stop thinking about her. I kind of had the story, but I didn't have time. I didn't have time to write this. I'm writing a novel already, and I'm writing my blog posts and articles and publishing things on other websites, and I'm still trying to pursue this primitive Dave guy, trying to be him. Then I found myself in a little bit of an intimate situation with a woman, and we were talking, and I said, "Well, I have this story," and she was like, "Oh, let me hear it." I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'll tell you." I mean, I don't know what's gonna come of it. I don't know what's gonna be. And I told her the story, and her mouth was open the whole time. And then I told her the secret ingredient in the chocolates, and she covered her mouth. Oh my god! And so, the very next day, I stopped writing, working on that other novel, that 22-week project. I quit, and I started writing Los Chocolates de Esperanza Diamante. And in 30 days, it was done. It was just pouring out of me, pouring out of me. I think this is the exception to the rule. I don't think it's what other authors experience, or I hear a lot about people forcing it to happen. Um, but that's what happened to me. That's where the inspiration came from, and that's where my first piece of work, how my first piece of work came to fruition. Sometimes I use words I don't know what they mean, came to fruition. And of course, now it's published, and now I'm working on the follow up to this book. More stories. Technically, probably if I'd have waited, I probably could have put it all together, but I wanted to get my first piece of work out there, and I'm grateful for it. Let me. I'm gonna. This is gonna have to be a two-parter because I know I'm gonna ramble on about the second part of your question. Uh, Inspiration to write fiction. I gave you that. How and where you got your inspiration? I think well, maybe I answered both. My suggestion to you, Lola, is to start writing. If I hadn't have published 4 original pieces of work on books on Amazon, if I hadn't have been writing blog posts, if I hadn't have been writing a uh, novel. When I say blog posts, I had 2 blogs. I had my blog, theprimitiveview.com, which I wrote about health and wellness and stuff. And then I have, which I publish once a week, I publish something. And then I started the other blog, which is where I started writing chapters of this story of a guy who comes back from Iraq and starts to have the worst, um, not literally, but the worst kind of PTSD that results in him going out and doing horrible, horrible things. The secret is that um, he doesn't know he's doing it. So I started writing. His name is Tim Rogers. So I started writing about Tim Rogers and his wife Maria. I started writing about that, and I wrote every day. I did not know I was really going to write a novella that is, doing kind of good for my first piece of work for nobody, a no name. I didn't know that that was going to happen. If I had just sat around saying, I don't know where to start, and I'm not saying this is you, but this is what a lot of people do, right? I don't know where to start. I want to be a writer. I don't know where to start. If I had been doing that, I would still be there. I would still be there. So although I've been talking a lot about like I don't feel like it was a waste of time that I've spent all these years trying to be a health and wellness guru, writing these books and writing these blog posts. I don't regret it because I was practicing writing and doing it um, almost on a daily basis. So my suggestion to you would be to do that, to write on a daily basis, and it doesn't even matter what. Obviously, for years I wrote nonfiction, you know, articles about avocados and walnuts and stuff. So I don't think it matters as long as you start writing. The other thing is write a short story. Both of my attempts, Tim Rogers, that was supposed to be a short story, and it turned out into long, detailed chapters. I even had to go back and unshort story this stuff because I left out so many details that I had to go back and add details. Los Chocolates de Esperanza Diamante, it's a novella, but it was going to be a short story, and I was just going to publish that on my website for free, and it turned out to be an entire book. And it's both of those cases are because I started writing what I thought was just going to be a short story. Again, just write. The other thing I suggest is Big Magic by Liz McDonald. No, that's my friend. Big Magic by Liz Gilbert. Big inspiration, big motivation. You will love that book. I recommend that probably over On Writing by Stephen King. Because of your situation and how you're right there, you would love to start writing but don't know how. And I think if you watch or listen to or read Big Magic by Liz Gilbert, she will give you the push that you need. And then if you read Big Magic first, then I would follow up with On Writing by Stephen King. Then Liz Gilbert has she has a podcast that's kind of talking about being creative. There's some good ones. She includes all creative people, not just writers, but the ones on writing are excellent and I found helpful. And she'll have people on like Cheryl Strayed and other writers, Neil Gaiman. So definitely would check that out too. And the biggest thing is, if this is something you love to do and you're not doing it, you're fucking up. All right. I don't know if the F word offends you, but that's how much I'm trying to stress. If writing fiction is something you love to do and you're not doing it, you're fucking up. All right. So please, Lola, this is for you. I'm going to email you a link to this is definitely a two-parter. My phone only lets me upload 15-minute videos. So I'll have to do this in two parts. And that's it. If anybody has any more questions, I love to talk and I love to share my experience. So if you have any questions about self-publishing, about writing, about anything, how I got my start, I already told the whole story here. I'll tell it again. I like talking. Any questions, email me, message me, go to my website, contact form. I figured out how to use that. So contact form, davidsoderwrites.com. I'll have links and stuff, and I appreciate everything. Thank you.